All I'm saying is that if America was as racist as, well, let me rephrase that. If white America was as racist as we are continuously being accused of being, America wouldn't have any of the problems that we have now. And let me explain. The slaves during that terrible part of our history did not rise up and obtain their freedom through force. They didn't overwhelm the racist white people in this country and struggle and fight for their freedom and gain it through combat. Their freedom was provided to them because of the thoughts, actions, and ultimate deaths of countless white Americans who came to the understanding that while we did not invent slavery, far from it, that it was up to us as decent human beings to end the practice of slavery. Some white people disagreed, and therefore we went to war with ourselves. And yes, black Americans fought in the Civil War. God bless them. But as I said, this freedom for the slaves and for black Americans came at a high price, a very high price, that was paid by the very ancestors of the people that now are being called racist just because of our pink skin. And the same goes for everything else that is at issue here today. We talk about how white people are so racist against immigrants. You guys that have seen my videos, I get called a racist all the time solely because of what I look like. Never dated a white woman in my life. That's not an accolade, that's just a fact. My ex-wife was Peruvian, my current wife is Vietnamese. But nevertheless, I'm still a racist, according to the left and to these idiots, because of the color of my skin, which is in and of itself is racist comment to even think that way, but that is beyond their understanding, that concept. But here again, the laws of this land were written primarily by white people. The Constitution was written by white people that guarantees freedom for all. But when I say all, I mean all American citizens, because that's another war we went into to obtain our freedom from the crown. And when these laws were written, they were written by people that were decent people. Oh, they couldn't be decent. They couldn't have been decent because they owned slaves. Well, owning slaves in those days, talking about back during the Revolutionary War, in certain parts of the world, owning a slave, I'm sorry to say this, was nothing unusual. In 100 years, when there's no such thing as fossil fuel burning vehicles, when people read back in history and see videos and pictures of us driving cars, are they going to turn against our future ancestors because their great grandparents drove cars, which is unheard of, 100 years from now to be unheard of, let's just say, hypothetically? So holding somebody responsible for what they did 100 years ago or 200 years ago by the standards of the present time is insanity. Women's rights. Women did not scratch and claw physically their way into the rights that they have. There was a time when they couldn't vote. That is because white men saw fit to make things correct. Oh, are all white men great and they're not all? No, there's racist in every. I shouldn't even have to say this. I'm not talking to fucking kindergartners. But there are racists in every culture. Every culture has them. Every color has them. Everywhere in the world there are racists. But in America, America is far, far from a racist country. And I can't believe I have to say this. And I can't believe there are actually people that are going to argue the point with me. So instead of embracing the freedoms that we have, these idiots want to struggle and feel oppressed. And this is mostly white liberals who have never lived anywhere but America. What was that girl's name that was given the award, and she said that people can't be legal, or whatever the hell she said. What was her name? She got a weird name. But wouldn't, oh yeah, we're on stolen land, but she wouldn't give up her property. These are the ones that want to point fingers, but have never done anything for actually given something for the cause that they profess to hold so dear. Haven't allowed immigrants to come and live in their homes. I have, almost 2 years. Have not allowed the people that they want they want to parole these criminals that have lifelong histories of crime and then get let out because of some liberal judge. These people that are championing that, and the people that are pushing for the release of these, oh, he's over 50 years old, we got to let him out, would never let those people stay in their house. Hypocrisy beyond belief. But coming full circle, young white people specifically, don't ever feel like you have to argue that you're not a racist. If you are a racist, then you got problems. But if you're just a white person who believes that countries should have fucking borders and doors should have locks on them, and people should show ID when they're buying alcohol, cigarettes, and voting or getting on an airplane, if you believe that a country that wants to be a decent country and a safe country has to have laws, and when you have laws, you have to have someone enforce those laws, and if you believe that due process is a good thing, oh, well, the immigrants aren't getting due process. That's not the way it works. That's a whole nother video. I've already done that video. Oh, but you're violating international law. International law is a fallacy, as is 99.9% of everything that the left screams and shouts about and blocks traffic and makes himself look like fools about. But I worry about the younger generation of white people, all people, who are allowing themselves to be bullied into this thing. If you're a young black American and you're letting yourself be convinced that you're oppressed, well, don't take it from the bald-headed pink guy. Just ask yourself, what is it exactly that a white kid can grow up to be that you can't grow up to be because of the color of your skin? Ask yourself that alone so your friends don't start bullying you. And when you have the answer, which should take about 14 seconds to come up with, never forget that answer. And if you want to go around and pretend that you're a victim just to fit in with your crowd, shame on you. But know in your heart that you are not a victim. I'm not a racist. And the white people walking across the street are probably not racist, because true racists are actually a very small minority, and especially in this country. Anyways, what do you guys think?